Hello guys, today we are going to movie review. Movie name is 12 Stop 2018 is a war drama directed by Nicholas Publicis based on the real life exploits of the first US Special Force unit deployed to Afghanistan after the September 12 attacks. The screenplay by Ted Tully and Peter Crazy is adapted from the book Horse Soldiers by Doug Stevenson. The film stars Chris Hemsworth as Captain Miss Nelson leading 12 Green Berets into Afghanistan to team up with local warlord General Restam against the Taliban. Plot summary: after the 9/11 attacks, Captain Mitchell Nelson and his 12-man team are sent to northern Afghanistan on a secret mission to help northern alliance fighters combat the Taliban facing harsh terrain, strange aliens and overwhelming odds. The Americans must improvise. Even riding on horseback is difficult condition to engage the enemy and capture key territory. What critics said: strength, solid cast and action. Critics and audience agreed that the performance, especially Chris Hemsworth's leadership role and the action sequence, are entertaining. The well-staged. Many viewers felt the battle scenes were immersive and highlighted the soldiers' bravery, real-life heroism. The film's true story foundation makes the premise compelling, seeing high-tech soldiers fight on horseback against entrenched enemy is a unique and memorable image in war cinema. Some reviews noted it after a gratifying sense of heroic adventure, patriotic tone with some complexity. Despite a primarily action-focused, the movie attempts to touch on broader themes like cooperation with Afghanistan aliens and the emotional tools of combat. Weakness and mixed critical reception. Rotten Tomatoes 12 strong has around 50% critic score, indicating mixed reviews, and on Matrix it is a similarly average, meaning critics were unsure about its overall merit. Lacks of depth. Many reviewers stressed that the film doesn't dig deeply into character development or the political complexity of the Afghanistan conflict. Characters beyond the pure leadership, often the underwriting acts repetitive and formulaic. Some critics describe the film as feeling generic, like many other Hollywood war movies, relying on cliches and extending battle scenes without fully building tension or emotional impact. expressing issues. A common critique was that the movie feels overlong and repetitive, especially in its climax, which can drain narration energy rather than build toward satisfying playoff action and characters. Chris Hemsworth as Captain Mitchell Nelson brings leadership and physical to the role, giving the film its emotionally core. Mitchell Shannon Mitchell Pena provides strong supporting performance, adding depth and variety to the team dynamic. Naveen Digban as General Dostum, acting and characters. Chris Hemsworth as Captain Mitch Nelson brings leadership and physically to the role, giving the film its emotionally core. Mitchell Shannon and Mitchell Pena provide strong supporting performance, adding depth and variety to the team dynamic. Navid Nikban as General Dostum is often highlighted as standout gravitas to the Afghan Ali role. However, many viewers note that aside from a fair memorable individual, most soldiers remain broadly discussed rather than fully developed. Technical and production notes directed by Nicholas Ferguson in his first feature film. The cinematography and battle choreography were praised too for their gritty, immersive feels. The film blends large-scale warfare visual with more intimate moments between team members. Thought its tone stay closer to action than deep reflection. Audience reaction. Audience review tend to be more positive than critics scores, with many viewers appreciating the film's pacing and action and rating it higher in personal polls. Some fans found it an exciting and patriotic war movie that respectfully highlights the sacrifice of soldiers. Final verdict. Well, Strong is a competent and entertaining war drama that will likely appeal most for fans or military action films based on true story. It delivers solid performance, immersive battle sequence, and a compelling real-world backdrop. However, it may disappoint viewers looking for deeper character exploration or nuanced historical commentary. Best for war movie enthusiasts, fans of Chris Hemsworth, viewers who enjoy true military story. That's idea for those six rich characters that audience wanting details, geopolitical norms, its much deeper, pure full movie review of 12 Storm 2018. No YouTube talk, no theory, just the film itself. 12 Storm 2018 full detailed movie review, introduction and tone. 12 Storm is a modern war film that focuses on raw force, military brotherhood, and survival under impossible conditions. Unlike classic or stylized war movies, this one keeps a grounded, realistic tone, emphasizing mission, exhausting our emotional melodrama. The film's mood is serious, restrained, and respectful, and aiming to honor real soldiers rather than entertain with exaggeration. Storytelling and narrative depth. The narrative follows a straightforward mission structure, deployment, aliens, conflict, and outcome. There are no complex subplot or unnecessary rivalry. This simplicity works both as strength and a weakness. On one hand, the film feels focused and disciplined, touch like the soldiers is portrayed. On the other hand, it avoids deep physiological exploration. The story prioritizes what happened rather than how it says the man internally. The screenplay keeps moving forward, rarely slowing down for introspection. Emotional moments are present but subtle, quiet conservation, meaningful glance, and lasting reactions instead of dramatic speech, action, and combat realism. The Orsback Warfare stand out as one of the film's most unique elements, seeing modern soldiers fighting with advanced weapons built mounted on heroes creates a striking contrast between old world warfare and modern military technology. These scales feel tense, unpredictable, and dangerous. Gunfights are loud, fast, and grounded. That show superheroes physics. Bullets feel lethal, and every engagement carries weight. Performance and characters work. Chris Hemsworth delivers a controlled and serious performance, far removed from his more charismatic role. His character isn't loud or dominant. He leads thought, acclaim, decision making, and quiet authority. The performance feels mature and restrained, fitting the tone of the film. Supporting cast. Actors like Mitchell Shannon and Mitchell Pena add gravitas and realism. Their characters feel like experienced soldiers, professional constant and emotionally guarded. However, the film deliberately avoid giving its soldiers a full backstory. This choice reinforces realism. Soldiers often don't share personal details is combat, but also means some characters blend together. General Dastam, the Afghan elite character, is portrayed with complexity and unpredictable. He is neither ideology nor villainous. His motivation feels layered, shaped by survival, pride, and history. This dynamic adds tension and authority to the village. Aliens, themes, and messages. The core themes of 12 Strong include brotherhood under fire, trust across culture divided, leadership without ego, adoption is unfamiliar territory. The film avoid heavy political commentary. It does not attempt to explain the entire conflict or justify global dispositions. Instead, it focused on man carrying out order in hostile world, emphasizing duty, our ideology. This restrained approach might feel emotionally distant for some viewers, but it reinforced the film's realistic tone. Cinematography and direction. The cinematography favored wide landscape showing isolation, handheld shot during combat for immediacy, muted color that enhance realism. The Afghan terrain feels harsh and unforgiving. Mountains, dust, cold, and exhausting are visually emphasized, reminding viewers that nature itself is an enemy. Direction and confident but conservation. The film doesn't experiment stylistically, it sticks to proven war film technique, ensuring clarity and impression rather than artistic risk. Physics and structure. The first half is slower, focusing on preparation and relationship building. The second half runs heavily into combat. Some battle sequences run long, which might feel repetitive, but this repetition mirrors the grinding nature of rebel warfare. The climax doesn't aim for emotional catharsis, instead it delivers a sense of existing accomplishment, emotional impact. 12th Strong doesn't try to make you cry, it tries to make you respect. The emotion comes from quiet bravery, unspoken fear, sacrifice without recognition. There is a constant awareness that the soldiers call die, and any emotion and film never glamorize that risk. Strength versus weakness. Strength. realistic combat, strong lead performance, unique horseback warfare, respectful portrayal of soldiers, grounded serious to weakness, limited characters depth, minimal emotional exploration, familiar war movie structure, avoid complex political discussion, final verdict. 12 strong is solid, disciplined, and respectfully war film. It may not redefine the genre, but it delivers authentic action, deliverable leadership, and a grounded portrayal of modern warfare. This is a movie for viewers who appreciate military realism, true story war dramas, serious, no nonsense storytelling. Rating 7.5/10 on. Alright, here is an even deeper long for pure cinematic review of 12 Storm 2018, writing like a serious film, easy, focusing on realism and impact. 12 Storm 2018 Ultimate Impact Movie Review. Philosophy of the film. 12 Storm is a good war movie about victory. It's a war movie about adaptation. The film's central idea is that modern warfare is not won by superior weapons alone but by flexibility, trust, and restraint. The Green Berets are portrayed not as unstoppable heroes but as highly trained professionals forced to rethink everything they know the moment they enter Afghanistan. Unforgiving terrain. The decision to fight on horseback becomes symbolic. Technology must something how to tradition to narrative minimalism. The screenplay embraces narrative minimalism. There are no long emotional arcs, no dramatic subplot, and no forced personal drama. Instead, characters' development is conveyed thought, technical decision, most moral hesitation, reaction under pressure. This minimalist approach makes the film feel procedural and authentic, but it also means emotional connection depends on the viewer's appreciation of such. The war does not dramatize violence without glory. Unlike many war films, that realistic combat strong portrays violence as loud, sudden, confusing, and celebrated. Kills are not lingered on the camera, does not glory that victory feels temporary and fragile. Even successful attacks carry a sense of uncertain edge. If something worse called always follow, this restraint gives the film moral weight, leadership, and authority. Captain Mitchell Nelson's leadership is defined by listening rather than commanding. He makes mistakes, he questions intelligence, he pushes back against higher authority when the mission demands it. The portrayal of leadership is clear: no ego, no space, no dramatic hero moments. Authority is so and rooted European. The film avoids portraying Destin as purely noble or dangerous. Instead, he is shown as a man shaped by endless war, operating under different moral codes. This unsocial partnership is more complex than the combat itself. Visual language and atmosphere. The cinematography emphasizes vast landscape, evolving human presence, cold, restaurant, color, reinforcing emotional distance. Shaky handheld shot during combat to convey instability. Afghanistan feels hostile not only because of the enemy but because of weather, altitude, isolation. Nature is treated as a silent antagonist, time and fatigue. The film's caption as the film progresses, dialogue decreases, action increases, words become unnecessary. This shift reinforces the physiological drain of sustained combat extends as a theme. One of the film's boldest choices is what it leaves out: no graphic civilian suffering, no political speeches, no aftermath trauma exploration. This absence might feel like weakness, but they also prevent exploration. The film remains focused on the mission itself, not its large consequences. Critical balance. Why some viewers feel underwhelmed, lack of emotion, catharsis, few standout individual arcs, conventional structure, why other respected professional restraint, tactical authenticity. The first drama, the division excellence in the film makes reception, final interpretation. 12 Strong is a film about men who do not seek recognition. Their success is quiet, their sacrifices are understood, their legacy exists outside the frame. God, it helps more the deepest layer yet, focusing on subtext, realism, choice, symbolism, and why the film feels why it does still a pure movie review. 12 Strong 2018 Deep Critical and Cinematic Background. Why the film feels emotionally distant by design. One of the most misunderstood aspects of 12 Stone is its emotionally restraint. The film intentionally avoids emotional manipulation. There are no slow motion goodbye or dramatic letters from home, no settlement music cue telling you what to feel. This distance mirrors real military professionalism. Soldiers suffer emotional to survive. Personal feelings are postponed, not expressed. Emotional attachment can become a liability. The film respects the reality even if it costs audience attachment. Soldiers as a unit, not individual. Most war films focus on individual arcs. 12 Storm does opposite. The team is the protagonist. Individual identity dissolves into collective function. Names matters less than role. This approach sacrifice on sacrifice memorability but sense authenticity. These men are trained to operate as components of a machine and the film reflects the philosophy visual and narratively combat as problem solving. Drive the action. How do we advance with limited air support? How do we trust unreliable aliens? How do we adapt to trains we can't control? The action feels seductive because war here is so as long sticks under fire, not glory. Horseback warfare symbolism beyond the visual. The horse aren't just historical details, they symbolize humility before unfamiliar culture, regressions to older methods to survive modern threats. Modern soldiers are forced to abandon superiority and accept vulnerability. This quietly dismantles the myth of invisibility, leadership without validation, Carson Nation is never praised on screen. No medals, no heroic speech, no appreciation. His leadership is validated only thought survival. Mission continuation, silent acceptance by his men. This absence of reward reinforces the film's core. Relic duty doesn't require recognition. Moral ambiguity without commentary. The film neither justifies nor condemns the war. Instead, it presents conflict, aliens, unstable loyalty, strategic necessity, overriding morality. There is no attempt to resolve their tension. The film lets discomfort exist, a rare choice in mainstream war cinema. Visual honesty over beauty. Cinematography avoid romanticize landscape, mountain feel oppressive, not majestic. Village feel sound design and silence. Gunfire dominates, but silence is equally important. Silence appears before attacks, after survival, during decision making. These quiet moments claim more weight than dialogue, emphasizing anticipation and consequences. Why the runtime feels heavy? The film's length isn't edit, it's burdensome by intention, repetition of combat and planning creators, viewers strategize, mental exhaustion, loss of comfort, the audience experience a fraction of what the soldiers endure, monotony, punctuated by terror, what the film refuses to explain. The film does not explain geopolitical simplicity, anime motivation, offer moral consolation. This refusal keeps the film grounded but allows viewers expectations clarity of closure. Why the film divides audience? Some viewers say it feels flat. What the film is actually doing. Removing cinematic acceleration to preserve realism. It is film what doing discipline, our drama, truth, our thrill, produce, our poetry, final interpretation. Twelfth Strong is not about war as history, tragedy, or heroism. It is about execution. Men execute orders, plan execute under pressure, mistake execute consequences, and when it is our there it shows celebration, only survival, ultimate rating. A 10 on for realistic focus viewers, 6.5 for emotional drama seekers. A film that does not ask for love, only respect. Alright, here's more going as deep as possible. Almost like a film studies plus realism audit, still pure viewers, no outside noise, 12th Storm 2018 Extreme Deep Dive Reviews. The film score identify anti-myth for cinema. Most war films would myth the unbeatable soldier, the clear enemy. This right theoretically 12 strong quietly dismantles all three. The soldiers are allied yet constantly vulnerable. The enemy is present yet often unseen. The victory is achieved yet feels temporary and fragile. This anti-myth approach explains why the film feels restrained. It refuses to die for existence, professionalism, our personality, or deliberate choice dominates the film. Soldiers are defined by captains, not Christmas. This mirror real exists for culture where individual is secondary to presence and trust. The film sacrificed entertainment's value to preserve the truth. Fear is always present but never spoken. No character ever says a scared. Yet fear is everywhere. Is hesitation before moving in tiny grips on weapons influence actions instead of works. The film tried fear as background meditation, invisible constant result if ignored. This unspoken tension creates realism but denies the audience emotional realism. The horse control versus surrender. Riding horse is not heroic there. It's dangerous. The soldiers don't fully control the enemies, can predict their reactions, must surrender balance and dominance. Symbolically, this mirrors the mission itself: unfamiliar terrain, unreliable allies, limited intelligence. The film suggests modern power means nothing without adaptability. Afghanistan as an operating space, the land is never dominated. Mountains are too wide to inky to silent. The competitiveness emphasizes isolation. The soldiers are from reinforcement, understanding, and home even when surrounded by valleys. They feel alone. Geography becomes physiologist pressures. Moral maturity as a risky choice. The film refused to explain Taliban ideology, justify American presence, explore civilians' aftermath. This naturality is ethically causal but relatively risky. Instead of guiding judgment, the film lets action exist without commentary. Some viewers see this as shallow, others see it as respectful realism. The film isn't asking what is right, it's asking what was required. Musical used as restraint, not emotion. The score avoided swelling heroism. Music appears mentally, maintain tension, underline danger, support skill. It never tells you how to feel. Silence is trusted more than sound. A rare choice is modern cinema, where the film feels heavy, not thrilling. The movie is facing minimum operational time, waiting, planning, sudden violence, internet. There is no rhythm designed for entertainment. It feels heavy because it's meant to where you do just as the mission wears down to soldiers. General Destin survival as identified. Destin is not ideological, he is not moral, he is not emotional, he is fragmented. Every decision he makes serves one goal survival of power. The film respects his realism instead of forcing him into a hero or villain role. This complexity makes the most fascinating. Why this film was never its purpose is documentation, thought, dramatization, not legacy creation. It exists to be accurate, not memorable. Final interpretation. Real Strong is a film about restraint, our passion, exhausting our emotion, survival, our symbolism. It respects its subject so much that ultimate evaluation as entertainment 7 turn on as realism in war cinema 8.3 turn on as emotional storytelling 6 turn on a film that does not want you chase opulence or praise only your attention. Alright, there's more, but now it's a different definition so it doesn't repeat itself. This time, Sisker's level meaning, realism, choice, and what each phase of the film is really doing. 12 Storm 2018 scans by scan underrated video opening at the weight of discussion. The film opened not with action but with responsibility. Mr. Nelson volunteering for the mission isn't framed as heroism. It feels like obligation mixed with uncertainty. Family sessions are brief, emotionally restrained. almost uncomfortable. This search established the film's rule: emotion exists, but it will never dominate the frame. The film immediately sig- signals that this story is about choice under pressure. Visual cuts start with safety early, preparing the viewers for a narrative without visual synthesis. First horseback sequence controlled discomfort. The first time the soldier mount meeting General Destrom, trust without faith. This is one of the most physiological dense sections of the film. Smile don't mean safety. Hospitality feels conditional. Violence feels casual. The films avoid dialogue explaining culture difference instead. It shows discomfort thought. Body trust is never granted, only tolerated mid-film battles. Tactical fighting set in the middle act in intentionally repetitive. Why? Because fiction is war. Advance hold, retreat, regroup. Each battle looks similar because combat erases individuality. This is where many viewers disenchant, but it's also where the film becomes most honest. War is not escalation, it is erosion. Air-struck sequence power with consequence. Air sport is so as impressive, necessary, dangerous. Mistakes carry immediate weight. The film avoids triumphant framing. Instead, exploration feels like calculation, not victory. This reinforces as a key theme. Power does not equal control. Command conflict quit rebellion. When nation pushes back against high command, there's no shooting, no dramatic confrontation, no emotional justification. The disagreement is purely operational. This moment defines leadership in trial. Strong leadership is refusing bad decisions without ego. Final battle survival over triumph. The climax our celebration. Victory feels uncertain. Loss is understanding. Relief reflects joy. The camera does not linger on success, it lingers on breathing, existing silence. The film ends not on pride but on complexion, ending absence of closure. There is no emotional war of no swerving, consequence, nor dramatic aftermath. This absence is intentional. The film ends the way mission can order completed plans history moves on. The lack of colors reinforce the film philosophy. The world does not pause to honor sacrifice. Why the film feels cold. Shoulders force emotional. Final judgment. 12 Strong is not a movie that wants to be remembered. It wants to accurate. It refused melodrama, myth-making, emotional manipulation that regional cost its popularity but earn its credibility. Definitive rating context with as a mainstream war film 7 on as a realism first military film 8.5 on as emotional cinema 6 on a film that does its job that loves quietly. Alright, more but no. This is the final deep layer most people never talk about. Hidden realism, details, search and why Dwellstone feels flames but stays with you. Dwellstone 2018 Hidden Details and Realism Focused Review. Small detail that makes the film authentic. This film earned realism, not thought big moment, but tiny early missed. Choice of hidden details and reason focused review. Small detail that make the film authentic. This film earned religion not thought big moments but tiny, easily missed choice. Soldiers rarely give full names or orders are repeated calmly, not shouted. Weapons are shaped constantly, almost obsessively. Communication errors happen naturally. Characters react before thinking. Instinct over drama. These details don't excite, they conceal. Why character doesn't explain things always. It most film characters explain motivation. Nobody explains why they are brave. Nobody talks about patriotism. Nobody debates morality because soldiers don't do that is combat zone. The film assumes motivation already happened before the mission begins. This makes the film feel emotionally close but physiologically accurate. Uniforms, gear, and body language. Another reason here, gear looks strong, not polished. Movements are economical, not cinematic, no dramatic posing during combat. Reloading is quick and automatic. Actors were directed to move like professionalism, not perform. This is why many scans feel a documentary like anime portrayal trait without face. The Taliban are rarely individualized. You don't get villain species named antagonist. Soldiers look unstable, weapons feel harder to control, horses panic under fire. The film refused to make these scans cool. It want you to weak. This is dangerous because inflection and training that honesty prevent the communication. Why silence is more important than dialogue. Some of the most important moments content no music, no dialogue, no camera movement, just breathing, just one, just waiting. The silence creates anticipation instead of excitement. This is for closer to civil warfare. Why the film avoids aftermath trauma. Many war films and with trauma trail strong does not because trauma doesn't exist but because this story ends when the mission ends. The film refused to exploit PTSD, turns pain into drama, closes with emotion release. That restraint feels unjustified, and that's the point why critics felt nothing. Critics often say it's complete but empty. What they mean is not bold opinion, no strong emotional push, no cinematic risk, but that empathy is actually discipline. The film removes everything that isn't optionally necessary. What the film is realizing without words. War is not glorious, victory is temporary, leadership is quiet, survival is success, recognition is irrelevant. These ideas are never spoken, only so. Final absolute understanding Telescope is not designed to be loved, quoted, remembered loudly. It is designed to finish its job, tell its story, steps aside. Alright, more and this time our what the film become our time. Rewatch value, legacy, comparison, mindset, and why Trailstorm quietly is better than its first appears. Trailstorm 2018 legacy, rewatch value, and long-term impact review. Rewatch value, why it improves on second viewing. Trailstorm is not a movie that hits hardest on first watch. On watch, the lack of emotion feels intentional, not empty. Tactical decisions become clear. Character behavior feels more believable. Dialogue sounds realistic instead of explain, you start noticing discipline instead of drama. Unlike emotional war films that reel on soft, dwell strong settles into your memory quietly. Why the film feels calmer than other war movies compared to other modern war films. No constant shooting, no hyperactive editing, no musical manipulation. The film trusted viewer intelligence. It assumes you understand danger without exaggeration. This claim makes it feel less acting but more nature. Comparison without naming film pure cinema logic, where many war films focus on personal tragedy, actors suffering, emotional color, tell strong focus on missing continuity, operational success, quiet endurance. This put it closer to productional war cinema than emotionally storytelling. It is about how things were done, not how appeal people felt about them. Why this film avoid hero moments? There are no slow motion skills exposed. Even there is a stage claim follows other adaptation without panic. This regime costs cinematic skill but earns credibility, historical weight without explanation. The film doesn't explain its historical importance loudly. It trusted that the audience already knows why this mission mattered. The story doesn't need justification. That restraint keeps the film from becoming propaganda. Why the ending feels emotionally incomplete. The ending feels unfinished because war itself is unfinished. Mission don't resolve conflict. Success doesn't equal peace. The films end where documentation and not where emotions and that honesty can feel cold but is truthful. What the films is not trying to be, it is not a tearjerker, a political statement, a character study, a spectral driven action film. It is a professional record remunerated for cinema, judging it by emotional standard, miss its talent. Quiet legacy of the film, 12 Strong went to be remembered as genre-defining classic, an emotional landmark, but it will be remembered as a respectful depiction, a disciplined war film, a story that refused on exaggeration. It stands as contrast symbol to loud for cinema. Who this is solely for viewer who appears realism, military story, enthusiasts, Audience tries of our dramatize war stories. Viewers who value restraint our spectacle. No, I'm not idea for viewers seeking emotional release or additionally heavy action. Final ultimate verdict. 12 Strong 2018 is a film that proved strong with understanding. It doesn't impress, it doesn't overwhelm, it doesn't beg for praise. It simply does its job and lively just like this mission it portrayal. Final absolute rating 8/10 on for realism focused cinema, 6.5/10 on for mainstream emotional emotional entertainment. Understood. Here is more, but now we in the final narrative layer. The film as a character study of restraint, silent and modern masculinity in war is still a pure movie review. 12 Strong 2018 the film as a study of quiet masculinity, a war film without emotional exhibition. Most war movies show men expressing emotions. 12 Strong shows men containing emotions. There is no crying background, loud range, emotional conferences. Instead, masculinity here is defined by emotional control, responsibility, restraint under pressure, dominance. Captain Mitch Nelson is not dominant, he is not aggressive, he is not charismatic in traditional way. His masculinity is expressed through accountability, listening, accepting risk without complaint. He doesn't prove himself by improvising others. He proves himself by absorbing consequence. This makes the film feels muted but deeply mature. Violence as an uncomfortable necessity. The film tries violence like a task required, dangerous, morally unresolved. There is no emotional satisfaction after killing, no sense of triumph, no moments, no realism. Violence is something to get thought, not celebrate. This appears silent and emotionally language. 12 strong silence replaces dialogue. Silence communicates fear, doubt, trust, exhaustion. By removing emotional speech, the film forces the viewers to read behavior, not words. This is why the movie feels distance, it demands effort. Why the film rejects individual glory. No single soldier is framed as indispensable. Why? Because real special force operations depend on intelligibility, redundancy, teamwork, our identity. The films remove individual spotlight on reflect. No one is bigger than the mission. This anti-ego structure is rare in mainstream cinema. The world does not care and the film agrees. The environment is indifferent. Allies are conditional. Support is limited. The film's worldwide is brutally simple. The world does not care if you survive. This lack of emotional safety makes the story feels heavy, grounded, and unforgiving. Why the film avoids moral resolution? The movie never answers was this right? Was this worth it? What did it truly change? Because soldiers in the field don't have the luxury of that answer. The film ends where responsibility and not where meaning begins. Emotional honesty thought withholding. What feels like emotional emptiness is actually emotional honesty. The film understands emotions exist but cannot always be expressed, especially in survival situations. This honesty is uncomfortable and rare. The final truth about 12 strong is good, not cold, is controlled. Control it does not lack emotions. It refuses to exploit. It does not lack meaning. It refuses to simplify. It does not lack heroism. It refuses to advertise it. Final evaluation as cinema 7 10 on as realistic war storytelling 8.8 10 on as mature film about responsibility 9 10 on. Alright, more now the absolute final cinematic layer, symbolism, meaning beneath the surface, and why 12 Strong feels intentionally unfinished. 12 Strong 2018 symbolism, meaning, and high silent storytelling. Horse as the film central symbol. The horse are the soul of the movie. They represent surrender of control, humanity in unfamiliar worlds, trust in something you don't fully understand. Elite soldiers trained in modern warfare are forced to rely on animals that can panic, stumble, or throw maps, terrains, and directions. Notice how often characters study maps, scans horizon, look unsure of direction. The land dominates decision making. This reflects a deeper idea. Humans don't control war, terror does. The enemy isn't just people, it's distance, it's altitude, it's isolated. Fireworks versus presence. The film contrasts airstrike overwhelming power, boots on the ground, fragile presence. Airstrike wins battle, but presence wins territory. This tension runs slightly through the film. Power alone is not enough. Someone must stay even when staying is dangerous. Why dialogue is so spare? Words are unreliable in war. Order can be misunderstood. Promise can't be understood. Promise can't be trusted. Intelligence can be wrong. So the film removes speech and replaces it with action, reaction, conjugation. Meanings come from what happens, not what said. Blood without emphasis. Death are brief, injuries are acknowledged, not dramatized. The camera doesn't linger. This choice removes emotional playoffs and replaces it with the discomfort. The final refuse to reward violence with spectacle. Time feels blurred on purpose. The will doesn't clearly mark days on night. Why? Because it's in combat, time lost shape. Days blend together, survive becomes the only clock. This discoordination is shared with the viewer. Why Afghanistan feels empty. The film avoids crowd, cities, and civilians. This isn't a denial, it's a perspective from the soldier's view. The world needs objectives, replace people, space become abstract. The film shows war as tunnel vision, not total reality. The meaning of the ending. The ending feels unfinished because war never finishes. Missions and unconflicted don't. Success doesn't resolve consequences. The film cuts where the moment responsibility and not meaning. That silence after complexion is the final statement. What the film ultimate says without saying later. Strength is quietly, leadership is invisible, cost doesn't announce itself, survival is not victory but it matter. These ideas are never spoken because speaking them would shapen them. The final absolute truth. 12th Strong is not a film about war, it is a film about restraint, professionalism, men doing necessary work with ceremony. It doesn't seek admiration, it avoids emotions, it lives before opinions. Just like soldiers eat portraits, ultimate final rating 8.5 10 for realism, and maturity. 6.5 10 for emotional entertainment. A film that becomes stronger the less you expect it perform. Alright, more but now in a fresh form, so it still adds value. A spoiler-free poetics plus philosophical review, followed by a very short, ultra-deep takeaway you can reuse anywhere. 12 Strong 2018, a poetic spoiler-free review. This is a war film where voices are low, fists are tight, and courts never announce itself. Men arrive in a land that does not welcome them. The mountains do not care who they are. The enemy does not explain itself. Victory does not promise safety. They adapt. They listen more than they speak. They trust without certainty. They move forward cause stopping each verse. The move proud because stopping each verse. This is not a glory there, only momentum. Weapons fire, horse run, planes runs, silence return, and when it over, no one celebrates longs enough to tell proud, because survival is not triumph, it is a permission to continue. The film is one core idea. 12 Strong is about men who reduce themselves, their ego, their voice, their presence, so the mission can success. That reduction is the film honesty, why it feels different from other war films. It does not base on emotion, it does not explain morality, it does not decode violence, it does not promise meaning. It shows work dangerous, existing works done equally. What say with you after the movie ends? Not a speech, not a sketch, not a character. What stays is the feeling nor of it, weight of responsibility, weight of uncertainty, what weight of discrimination made without appeals. Final micro verdict as cinema restrained. Alright, more now in a clean, powerful, accessible format that still adds something new. This time, leadership lessons, human behavior, and what were strong word as study of decision making under pressure. 12 Stone 2018 Leadership and Human Behavior Review. Leadership present one authority and earned in silence. Captain Mitchell Nelson doesn't lead by volume or dominance, he leads by staying calm when others panic, absorb blame, making decisions without needing delegation. The film showed that real authority doesn't need performance, it only needs trust. Leadership Season 2 Addiction is strength, not weakness. The strong moments in the film isn't attack, it's a exception that plans are wrong, terrains, controlled outcomes, traditional may outperformance technology. The shoulders don't resist change, the sub- submit to reality. That submission says them human behavior under pressure, under extreme strain. People speak less, emotion compresses, instinctive replace personality. The film captures this truth by training individuality over time. By the end, the man feels more unlike, not because they are weak, but because pressures equalize them. Why silence becomes a survival tool? Silence is the film means conserving energy, avoiding mistakes, staying focused. Talking is a luxury. Silence is efficiency. The movie understands that clarity often comes from staying less, not more. Trust without certainty. One of the film's most realistic ideas. You don't need trust, you need alignment. The alliance with General Dustin works not because for friendship but because goals temporarily match. This is mature realism. Loyalty is conditional. Comparison is strategic. Belief unnecessary. Fear is present but never contrite. Fear is never named, yet it controls everything. Spacing between man, weapons, handling, eye movement, reaction time. The film treats fear as background noise, not a dramatic event. That makes it more believable. The most war film. The film worldwide very important. The film believes the world is different. Success is temporary. Responsibility doesn't guarantee meaning. That worldwide makes the film feel cold but also honest. Why the film ends without emotional reward? Because emotional reward is not part of the job. The film ends when objectives are met. Survival is confirmed. Responsibility concludes. Meaning is left to history, not the soldiers. Final condensed judgment. Very strong is a film about discipline, our emotion, addiction, our pride. Leadership without ego, 8.5 10 on. Alright, more delivered as a long spoiler-free cinematic caption plus final compact review perfect for reading, positing or using anywhere, no restriction on outside talk, just the film. 12 strong, 2018 long spoiler-free cinematic review. 12 strong is a war film that moves without noise. There are no speeches meant to inspire, no emotional cue telling you when to feel proud or sad. The film was instead of announcing it observes man entertain a land they don't understand, trusting values they can't fully read, and adapting to conditions. No training truly prepares them for. This is not a story about heroes' graces glory. It is about professionals reduce themselves, their ego, their certainty, their comfort. So the mission. This movie treats war as work, exhausting, repetitive, dangerous, unfinished. Battles don't feel triumphant, they feel necessary. Success doesn't feel victory, it feels temporary. What makes 12 strong different is its discipline, it refuses so escorted violence, it refused to instill it so calling leadership under pressure, silence replacing emotions, adaptation replacing dominance. The land feels vast and indifferent, the enemy feels present but never physical aliens, the feel conditional. The film ends the way real mission and not with closure but with completion, and then it steps away. What the film quietly teaches: strength doesn't announce itself, leadership doesn't perform, survival is not celebration, victory does not mean peace, responsibility rarely comes without recognition. These ideas are never spoken, they are so and then left alone. Strength, grounded realism, controlled mature tone, authentic combat, still leadership, portrait without ego, unique blend of modern warfare and old method. L- limitation, minimal characters, backstories, emotion is restrained, not expressive. Structure is familiar, no political or moral consolation after. These are not accident, they are choice. Fire verdict. Tell Strong is a film that value restraint our spectacle and respect our excitement. It doesn't try to improve you in moment. It says with you because of what it refused to accelerate. Aura rating 8.5 on a series discipline war film that doesn't seek appearance, only understanding. Alright, it's a more ending a new angel that hasn't been fully explored yet. Historical context, accuracy versus cinema, and how 12 Strong fits into a real war story, while still keeping it a movie review, not a documentary. 12 Strong 2080. History, accuracy and realism review. Historical importance. Why the story matters. 12 Strong is based on the airless US ground operations is a concern after 9/10 on 8 that time. Intelligence was limited, terrain knowledge was poor, local aliens were uncertain. Speed matters more than perfection. Accuracy our drama, a rare choice. The film deliberately avoids expert heroism, invisible soldiers, perfectly executed plans. Mistakes happen, intelligence is incomplete, aliens behave unpredictable. This choice reflects real from a cinema perspective. This realism, lower excitement, incredible, credible. The film shows through our thrill. How faithful is the film? No reality. Well, 12 Strong simplify, timeless and compresses events. It's stay honest. It's in spirit. Special force tactics feels authentic. Horseback warfare is not glamorized. Culture tension is present without simplification. Air support is so as powerful but risky. The film does not does not present war is clean or controlled. It so is as managed shows Hollywood adjustment where what was changed to function as a movie with the final that combined multiple real people into the film that combined stream, streamlined battle into clear sequence, focus leadership around one central figure. This sense makes the story watchable without turning it into fantasy. Important, the film does not even fake hero moment, it only compresses reality. Why the film avoid political commentary? Politically, the film stays naturally on purpose. It does not explain why the war continued, justify long-term consequences, criticize leadership decisions from a storytelling standpoint. This keeps the film focused on execution, not ideology. The movies know its limit. It tells this story, not the entire war. Why this makes the film feel incomplete? Some viewers feel the movie fakes emotional or moral resolution, but historical this missing did not other closer success did not end the conflict. Consequences unfold years later. The film mirrored that reality by ending without answer. Historical cinema verdict as a war film. It is it is not iconic. It is not emotionally overwhelming. It is not political blood, but as a historically grounded military move, which is standing strong, rating history plus cinema balance. 8.6 on a film that respects that past by writing is not appreciated. Alright, more and this time we all go into the physiological pressures, decisions making fatigues, and human cost that the film implies but never states. This is the suspension 12 strong 2080 physiological pressures and invisible cost review mental or physical danger. 12 strong emphasizes mental weight. The soldiers are constantly processing incomplete intelligence, unreliable aliens, shifting terror, limited support, every decision scare, consequence that can't be undone. The film shows this praises not thought dialogue but thought hesitation, pause, and restraint. The real threat is not depth, it's making the wrong choice with limited unfortunation. Decision feeling as a silent enemy. As the film progresses, decisions become faster, quieter, heavier. There is so time, no debate, morality, fear, choice are made because inactive is worse than error. Actor, no or lost control. The movie captures how leadership become cannot be shared even when surrendered by man. Blame in his outcomes are his failures stay with him. The film avoids showing emotional sculpts, but it shows something more realistic emotional comparison. Feelings don't disappear, they are postponed. Identify violence as cognitive burden. Killing is not dramatized because the film treats it mentally destabilized, not thrilling. Notice now, characters don't celebrate kill. There's no verbal encouragement. Action moves forward immediately. This reflects a truth the film understands. Lingering on voice makes it harder to function, so the movie keeps moving just like the soldiers must. The constant awareness of being expendable, one of the film's quaint idea. These men know they can be replaced. There's no illusion, invincibility, no fantasy of going the chosen one. They operate knowing reinforcement may not arise, extraction may fail, their mission may not be remembered. This awareness shapes their behavior, claim focused on mental. Why emotional release never comes? Most films offer release a cry, victory, confession. 12 strong Dennis release because release is not operationally useful. The tension stays unresolved just like it does for real soldiers until long after mission end. The film most honest Physiological truth: the movie quietly suggests that survival requires emotional yield, not emotional expression, that daily keeps people function, but it also leaves things unfinished. That absence is intentional, not careless. Physiological verdict: strong is not emotional slow, it is emotionally different. It shows what happens before reflection, before trauma, before processing. Physiological realism rating 9/10 on